Welcome back. Here we go again with our third tutorial. Now this one we're going to be talking about variables. But before we get into variables, just try and ignore everything from here up and this here too. So just try and ignore all this. We're going to talk about it, but we have to take this one little chunks at a time. So just ignore that. And also another thing I want to mention, semicolons are kind of like end of statements, end of ideas. In English, we would use a period, so it's like the end of a sentence. So that's kind of like an end of a line of code. If you notice this line of code, it's got a semicolon on the end. This one, semicolon on the end. So, and these are called curly bracers, and they are like kind of like, I guess, I don't know, paragraphs. I mean, they're kind of like larger chunks of code. That's a pretty rough definition, but for now, just think of them as the brackets that go around chunks of code. So what is a variable? Well, think back to math class, and some expressions might have like an x in them, and that x was the variable. It varied, right? It could change. I mean, y equals mx plus b. It's your slope, so it can change. So let's say int x equals 5. Well, this is a line of code, and int stands for integer, and that is a type of variable that C# can work with. So what it means is int is a number that cannot hold decimals. So you can't do like 5.429 or whatever. It's only whole numbers. That's what an integer is. And in C#, I think it can go from negative 32,000 to 32,000, and that's about the size of numbers that it can hold. Now, when I say it can hold, a computer has memory, and in the memory there's slots, and an int is going to set aside a certain number of slots, and those number of slots happen to be about 32. It can hold about 32,000. That's the biggest number that you can put in this int. So think of this int x as kind of like a container that you can put numbers in. So we've set this x to equal 5. Well, you can do more than one. You can go y equals 7, and once again we got the semicolons at the end. So that's a statement. That's a statement. Now you can go int z, and you can set that equal to x if you wanted. So x equals 5, and then z is now equal to x, and x is equal to 5. So there you go. Now there's other types of variables. There's double, and a double can actually hold decimals. So you can go 55.5 if you wanted. So, oh, sorry, not double. Oh, no, sorry, I can't do x, we can do y. So double y equals 55.5. Now you see these little green squigglies. I'm not going to explain just yet, but they're fine for now. Don't worry about them. And there's a bunch of different data types or variables that you can use, but those are some number ones. There's also a true and false one, so you can have a statement that's either true or false. Now there's also a string, so let's say string name is equal to Bob. So now we have a variable that is a string, and is a name, and is equal to Bob. So string means kind of like text. Usually a string is going to be a line of text. So just like that. Now you can also combine that with what we learned in a previous one, And you can actually print this to the screen. So let's print out X first, real quick. Excuse me. I'm sick. Okay, so int x equals 5, and we've done our console write line, which we learned prints data to the screen, and we have printed x. See how we've got x in there? And x, and then of course it gives us 5, because it doesn't give us x, it gives us the value of x. So if I was to change x equals 900, you get 900 here on the screen. Now, really quick, you can also do name. String name equals Bob. What are we going to get? Are we going to get the word name? No, we're going to get Bob, because this is the variable name. This is the value. You can change name to whatever you want. You're going to get the value printed out on the screen. So that's an intro to variables. We're going to go ahead and just wrap this one up for now. Stay tuned for